Computer. Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's class. This is communications team. Meet our communications team, find out who our web ministers, our chroniclers, and all the other super important roles that we have for the kingdom. Come meet everybody, see what we do. And that's enough out of me. Bella, can we start with you? Because technically, I think you are the head honcho here in that sense. This is your baby.
Can start with me. I will not take that kind of credit, but this is everyone who is here takes equal credit for the baby, honestly. Everyone has put in enormous amounts of work. I think we'll get a bunch of bobbing heads when I say this is a 24/7 gig for most of us. And everybody's doing insane amounts of work. So amazing, everybody. Just want to say. So to introduce myself, my name is Bella. Mundanely, I am a retired swing dance champion, now working as a partner strategist or marketing strategist. And I came to the SCA 4.5, almost 5 years ago. Started in the West, still in the West, and started at the Shire level, just coming to local get-togethers. My first big event was a May Coronet, followed by a On to Your West War, two of those back to back. And I was like, I've found my people. I didn't know these were my people, but I found my people immediately. So I'm the current Kingdom Chronicler. I was or have been the Dangle Tour Chatelaine and the Kingdom Social Media Officer. So with that, I will pass it on to Carius, the Kingdom Webminister.
But she's going to make me go next.
Yeah, I am.
Meet the bus. Hi, I'm Carius Hiltzman, known as Vincent mundanely. I have been the Kingdom Webminister just in my second time around. The Kingdom Webminister office is primarily looking after the digital properties like the website, and well, I don't do social media anymore, but I used to. But taking care of the website, email, lots of smaller IT support requests, such as where is this thing and why does that thing not happen when I click it? I am a Pelican, or I am from the Order of the Pelican. I've been in the SCA now since 2013. So that's just about 10 years, which is cool. I have several deputies who are wonderful people. There's a few of them not present today. Reese, are you still a deputy, or are you full-time KSMO?
Well, I'm full-time as KSMO, but technically as Kingdom IT, I fall under you as well.
Cool. So Reese, who's wonderful at what he does. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much in the background quite often, taking care of the weird, obscure things that nobody wants to look at, or that nobody knows how to look at. I enjoy my job. If you want my job, you can have it here in about 2 years. Or wait, is it a year? Something like that. I don't know. I don't know how long I've been here. I don't count the days, but it's a good job. You do help out a lot of people and you meet a lot of people. I'm not necessarily all that much of a client interface these days, but I do regularly communicate over email. Revna is the newest person that I've met, and I found out that she was on my team. So doing these kinds of jobs and joining in these kinds of groups gets you FaceTime and gets you exposure to a lot of people. So if you're in the SCA and you're a social butterfly, it's a pretty good way to do it. And then I'll go, I guess I'd toss it off to Reese there, our new Kingdom social media officer.
Sorry, I was answering your question. Hi, I'm Reese. I am the new Kingdom social media officer. I am also West Kingdom IT. As the Kingdom social media officer, I am responsible for all of the social medias: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and unofficially Discord. We're not official with it, but I still run it. Well, I have people that run it for me, but I created it all. Most of my job entails moderating, excuse me, all of the feeds, doing ad posts for officers, getting mean if I have to with permission, if there are ban hammers that need to come down. And then with Kingdom IT, basically just helping Carius with handling emails, most of the regular computer digital side of everything. I have been in the SCA since 1995. Other than a short stint in Atenveld, I have been in the West Kingdom all that time. And I've had a variety of jobs. I have also been the Kingdom Webminister. I've been a chirurgeon. I've been a chatelaine. I've been a constable, a marshal, and deputy seneschal. And with that, who's next?
I say Christina's next.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Christina. I started in Meridiace, and my first Kingdom level job was a newsletter. I have been in the SCA since 1988, and when I moved to the West, I didn't play much, and then saw that they needed a chronicler, so I took the chronicler job. But the communication methods have evolved, and the newsletter is not the main source of information anymore. So our communications team grew out of brainstorming and finding out what was the best path for getting information out to the kingdom, and that information going to social media. And so I am the print side of it all. And I have hard deadlines, unlike everybody else who the things will pop up and it may not be as critical as others, whereas I work with deadlines. You'll see a newsletter announcement come out every month from the Chronicler when all of the kingdoms have submitted their newsletters. They all go to the same printer, and once those are uploaded there, then they are released out to the kingdoms for distribution, however they want to share that information, along with the people who still subscribe and get a hard copy. I enjoy my job, but I think it's a great opportunity to get to know your kingdom very well in finding out where people play the most, and just where things are located, because I came from someplace that had no principalities, so I did not know how that operated. I'm very well versed on that now. So if you're interested in getting to know more about the print side, there is no hard and fast on what programs are used to create the newsletter, as long as it fits the format that is expected by corporate. And that is really the only what do I want to say? Criteria for it. It can be done on any kind of platform, as long as you can submit it as a PDF. So happy to see everybody here, and hopefully this is informative for folks. Who's next?
I say Dagny. I'm just gonna pick people.
Sorry, my screen flipped around because I'm doing this on my phone. I was like, what is going on? I am Dagny the Blue. I am deputy chronicler currently. I'm also the seneschal for Shire of Thistletor. I think that's all my offices currently. I started in the SCA 5 years ago at October Crown of 2018. And so I have held the position of deputy chronicler for a year and a half-ish. I don't know. And I help Bella with all of the documentation wordy things on the backside. So currently I do the emails and create documentation for other things that we want and changes that we need. So that is me. So somebody up next.
I also did not actually explain, just piggybacking on that, what Chronicler was. I just kind of jumped to the first person, so I want to circle back really quickly. So the Office of Chronicler originally in this kingdom was to create the newsletter. And that was like the sole part of the position, was creating the monthly newsletter. Almost now 2 years ago, that's crazy, almost 2 years ago, we restructured in the West and created a page manager position, which is Christina, and she's amazing at it, which is solely for the creation of the newsletter. So that freed up a little more time, because we needed structure to be built underneath this amazing group of officers that we had. We really looked at it and said, you know, it'd be fantastic if we had shared drives. It'd be fantastic if we had a big, huge group of deputies that could really take pieces of everything and be able to handle while we're building up content creation, while we're expanding as far as social media platforms went, as new platforms get released, which Threads has been released. It has not been approved yet, but we're watching it. And just create templates, forms, to allow everyone a little more space to do those jobs. So that's what the Chronicler position is. It is creating all of the documentation that lives kind of beneath the surface to help build that up, so that when someone does have a question or does need a process map, or they need something, a template they can quickly fill out and use as a Shire shadowing, that they can go and find it and go, great, here's a bunch of stuff we can use right now that's created and curated just for our kingdom. And so that is what I do.
I'm still picking. I'm still the person picking folks. So Tim, you're up next.
You also need to introduce yourself.
I will. I did. All y'all need to go first. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, my first event was Beltane 1999, and within about 8 months, I had my first kingdom level job. I was creating a website for the Needleworkers Guild, and eventually I was the deputy Webminister, but in fact, I was actually running everything while the official Webminister was creating the new website. I also was Webminister for the Principality of the Mists and for the Shire of Croston, back when things were in HTML and then in PHP. So I'm not doing the web ministerial stuff now, but I've also held 17 other official jobs in the Kingdom, Principality of the Mists, and shires and guilds. And right now, I usually have multiple jobs, but right now I just have one, and I maintain the Kingdom web calendar. We have instituted an experimental thing of creating a Google Calendar that works on phones, and that's a Revna's job. But if you send in information about an event, then I'm the one that gets that onto the web calendar. And I guess that's enough. I don't know. I did recently put something on the Kingdom site because people are like, there's something wrong with the web, and it's like, Facebook is still sending me stuff from Christmas. So yeah, it's better communicating with us by email. And I know I still have a few events to get on the calendar, but I recently injured my back and was kind of immobile for a day or two. So I will be doing that tonight after this is over.
So I think that's a great segue for Revna to talk about the Google Calendar and what they do.
Oh, I don't have to talk today. All right.
I told her she didn't have to say anything.
Too bad.
So yeah, I just update the Google Calendar really. Everything kind of filters and does its magic things before it gets to me. Then I get this jumbled mess of stuff and I sort it all out, spit out the stuff that's not needed and make it look pretty on Google Calendar. And then if you find me at events, I'm happy to help try and get it to look on your phone for you. So you just pull up your Google Calendar on your phone. But I do my best to make sure that it is also up as soon as physically possible for me. So I try. Okay, bye.
Oh, look, there went a bus. Anyway. So,
Your turn, Katrina.
I was gonna
Speaking
say,
of the
and
bus.
now it's me. I just wanted the rest of the folks doing the actual communications work out there to go first, because that's what really this is all about. But for anybody that's watching this doesn't know who I am or what I do, I am currently the West Kingdom Seneschal. I work extremely closely with my friends here on the comms team, because all of our duties go together. So the Seneschal is the one that makes sure we have Kingdom events, we have sites, the dates are on the calendar, we have event stewards, that event copies going in, all of those things that allow us to have an event start with my office and with the office of the site coordinator, and then they move on through the comms team process. So these guys are amazing. They work incredibly hard. And I couldn't ask for a better set of folks. And the way we're structured is actually being looked at by multiple other kingdoms as a gold standard. So super impressed and can't say enough wonderful things about this team. Just since everybody else has said it, a little bit of my history. I've been in for somewhere on the order of somewhere between 20, I think Beltane will be 24 years. I am a member of the Order of the Pelican. My biggest thing that I do when I'm not being Kingdom Seneschal is being event steward and teaching other event stewards how to event steward. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, let me know, because we're always looking for that kind of stuff. I have also been Principality Seneschal, I've been a Province Seneschal, I've been the Principality List Mistress, I've been Principality Regalia. I'm probably forgetting something. But so yeah, I've been around a minute. And I'm just really super glad to be here, and I'm hoping that we can also take a moment and maybe talk about any of our processes we want to talk about.
Yeah, I was actually going to touch on that. I would love to talk about the process of a few things, just as I'd like everybody join in as your part of the process comes in. So we are, I would say, in constant contact. When I think of constant contact with the people I work with, that's like 8 to 5 or like 8 to 7. We are absolutely in nearly, if not always, 24-hour contact at all times. It's kind of, when you stop and think about it, it's totally crazy. But we really do try and get to complaints, concerns, things that people send in. If it's really urgent, we try and get to them as quickly as physically possible. So typically, if there is a concern that comes in, depending on how it comes in, sometimes it comes in through Facebook Messenger, sometimes it comes through on a platform in a comment or a post, or an email. So let's say something comes in for something's happening with a website. Curious, Reese, what would be the first things that you guys do?
I think it usually depends on who grabs it first.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's correct. Currently, we have a process wherein we have a form or a link to a form on the main website that allows you to go in and explain what the context is of the issue that you're having. Or if you're not having an issue and you think something should be added, you can do that also. It's mainly I made the form so that it would fill the role of, hey, this link is incorrect. This document is 20 years old and no longer relevant, or there's not a document that exists, but there should be. That's the main topics of that form. And then that gets put into a Trello board for us to we just each go in there and grab a issue and work it, and then it's done. But primarily we triage the situation according to the direness of the moment and then act accordingly.
Perfect. Reese, do you have anything to add?
No, triage is really the perfect word for it. I mean, there's, as far as, what me and Curious do on the IT website, both him and I have different skill sets as far as how we triage things. I come from a very help desk style background because that's what I've been doing for most of my IT career. So I triage things differently than he does. But it's neither one of them are better or worse than the other. I mean, it's just we just approach things and stab at them differently. The Trello board is useful as far as it fulfills the need of a ticketing system, basically, which I've always felt is important, and which I've also instituted on the Sonagua side, not with Trello, but with something different. But we have a ticketing system that people can submit issues and say, hey, this isn't working, and then it'll send out an email and I can go in there and see what's going on. It saves time with people having to either track us down via Facebook or whatever.
Perfect. So next I would probably like to explain event copy. We get a lot of questions around event copy, when it's due. We have due dates posted. Did I just hear Christina go, oh?
No, I think that was Urja team.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No.
And just how event copy is handled as it comes in. So we do have a form, an event copy form, and Dagny, jump in when you want as well. You have to turn your mute off, though. You have to.
I don't want to turn my mute off.
I know, you got to do it. So the event copy comes in through our event copy form, which Dagny created.
Yeah, so when people submit their event copy or go to the form and then submit it, it drops into a Google Sheets spreadsheet. And so everybody on the communications team has access to that, especially the people who are on the calendar, and Christina as well. And so if there's something wrong, we recently had problems with some submissions on there, and so we made an update to it off of those suggestions. And so it's not something that is hard and fast. If it's not working for us, or we're getting wrong information, or it's just not explainable to other people, because it may seem very straightforward to us because we deal with it all the time, but if it's not straightforward to the populace, then it's not really going to work. And so we can go in and we can make those changes all the time and do what we need to do with that form.
Yep. So as the event copy comes in through the form, a PDF, my stand keeps moving. It's so irritating. Sorry, y'all. A PDF gets sent to the communications email, which is communications@westkingdom.org. We all have separate emails. We have our West Kingdom emails. We have officer forward emails like Chronicler at West Kingdom or Seneschal at West. But really, this communications email, I think, I don't think it's really widely known that that email has a large group of people on it. That is not being sent to one person. That's being sent to 10, 15.
The
I
whole
can't
team.
confirm at the moment how many. Everybody gets it. So anything that gets sent there, we really have the most eyes that we possibly can on every single thing that comes in. That's why typically whenever something gets posted, it's send it to communications@westkingdom.org, because it just blasts all of us. It's awesome because there are often times where someone's not available, somebody else sees it, they'll screenshot it or forward it. Just even if I've gotten it, if I catch a forward from someone else of an email I've already gotten, I go, oh yeah, I must not have seen it, or I must have forgotten about, or whatever. It bumps it back up for me. And it's usually someone on the team going, hey, just in case you didn't see this, I know it's in your inbox, but boop, here it is again. For me personally, the more eyes, the better, because it really allows us to handle things not just quickly and efficiently, but openly, so that we're all accountable, which I need to be held accountable, because I sometimes am like, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this. Confirm. But it helps so much having more people on a catch-all like that. So as an event copy comes in, the PDF drops into that spreadsheet as a backup. Every now and then we'll get Google updates or something, and we won't catch a PDF that gets sent back out, but it still does drop it on that spreadsheet. So having that secondary backup has made a world of difference. There have been several that have come in just time-wise, as Google was doing an update or something, and we didn't get the PDF out of it. So
Hey,
that was
Bella?
really helpful. Yeah.
I got a question that maybe you could answer.
Sure.
What happens? I've submitted my event copy, but now I've got more information. What should I do?
Yes. I love this question. So the event copy goes to the communications team, and it filters. We all see it. That email will start an email thread. So as soon as you send in an event copy, typically within 72 hours, you'll see added to the Google Calendar, added to the West Kingdom calendar. This Facebook event has been created. You'll see everybody commenting and replying to everyone else so that they see that. If you need changes done on an event that you've already submitted, all you have to do is reply all to that initial email. You have everybody on there that it's kind of trickled through our whole system. You do not have to put in another one. If you do put in another one, it almost looks like spam through the system. It looks like a repeat or an accident. So if you have seen or submitted event copy before, go back and look through those emails. It's really interesting to watch. You will literally see like calendar, Facebook, this has been shared here, got this here, this is scheduled, even starting from when you get your event date and location. You get that approval, and that actually gets sent to us as well. So we expect it, know it's coming. So just reply all to that in an initial email that you get back from filling out the event copy form, and we will see it right away. We're less likely to see it any other way. If you send it in and just put it in an email, I will say the amount of emails. If it's like one little email and it's like, change to my event copy. In my email, it's like, blah, 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 and I'm like looking. I have to actively look for it. So if we can, when we need a change, we can tie it in to something we've already sent in that has, 15 replies on it. It's so much easier for us to see, and it makes it easier for us to make those changes. Sorry, that was like a lot of words. Let's see, calendars. What do you find is something that, I had a question and then it was like gone. I
do have one thing I want to talk about with calendars,
Yeah.
from just the first end. And it's a little bit, it's another piece of the process that is slightly separate from the comms team, but absolutely adjacent, and that is calendar date approval. So if you have an event or a demo you want to get on the calendar, or a practice you want to get on the calendar, things that don't necessarily maybe fall under your general time when we set the 2020, you know, I was going to say year, when we set the calendar for the year, the calendar date request form is on the Seneschal page. I believe it's also on the Chronicler page. And so that is your mode to get a date on the calendar.
It is also linked on the event copy form as well.
Yes.
It's got a direct link on that form.
So if you're just like, I'm going to hold this demo at this place and I want it on the calendar so that I can get insurance, calendar form, because the calendar dates actually have to be approved before they can be put on to the website by Urta Tim, who's sitting right under me right there. So if she doesn't have that, she's not going to put your date on the calendar. So date request form.
And we've seen a pretty solid influx of events over the last year and a half, of locations holding 2 and 3 and 4 events. So those dates do fill up pretty quickly. They do change throughout the year too, with some events maybe moving or being canceled or whatever, but typically they do fill really quickly.
Yeah, demos and practices and things aren't subject to our conflict checks, but events are. So just keep that in mind.
And once the date's approved, then I put it into the calendar so it says that such and such an event is on such and such a date. At that point, it usually does not have a location or a lot of details. I know occasionally things go on the calendar and then people start saying, where is it? When's it happening? What's going on? And we have to wait until that event form is submitted with all the details before that can get on the calendar, before we even know what's all going to go on there.
Yes, that event copy form, just having the event copies come in full, meaning, having date and time and everything, and instead of in pieces, I think has made a big difference from what I've seen. I think it saves all of us quite a bit of time on making updates or making changes to things that we're publishing out, because we are publishing in 4 different places. Right, we publish.
It leads to more consistency, because before people would submit what they thought we should know, and sometimes it didn't have everything we really needed to know. And now that it's all pretty much in one place, then it's like I said, it leads to more consistency. There's fewer questions unless somebody left a space blank or something on the form.
That it also helps with when you have multiple event stewards or co-event stewards, because one event steward may send in an email and the other one didn't know it, and then they're sending in an email, and then you get information that's not matching up.
And our forum has accessibility options, which is amazing. Amazing.
I think Sarah had a question down there.
I did. I don't think I heard this, but my work phone went off and I had, ooh, shiny. But where do you find this form?
So the event form is printed in the page. It is linked on our West Kingdom Facebook group. It is linked and featured in that group and on the principality groups on each of them. It's also on the landing page of the website. So we really do try and make sure that we're creating options that work, because they're so accessible that we're bound to try and run into it somewhere, essentially. So we're trying to hit it on every medium. Not everybody uses social media platforms, at least not all of them. Not everybody goes to the website. Not everybody reads the page, and we know that. We know that we're dealing with different ways of consuming the information. So we try and make sure that we're overlapping that in all of the different places, so that that information is everywhere. It's everywhere. hopefully.
Yes.
Was this the basis we wanted to cover for today? Because we're going to go more into depth about what a lot of this team does, and more of what their roles are. This is just scratching the surface of a very, I keep wanting to say deep, like it just keeps, it keeps going and what this team does. And it's super important for all of us to know what they do. So it helps us support them, which helps support our kingdom. And that's why we decided to bring the classes this way, because then we'll have it forever on YouTube.
Yes.
Right? In 50, 40, 70, a million years, it'll still be here.
They're like Facebook. What's that?
Nah, we'll change media before then. It won't still be here in
TikTok.
100 million
It's
years.
gone forever.
It all still, it's all still lives. Once it's on the internet, it lives forever, right?
The internet.
Someone will
is
watch
forever,
this and
that's
be
true.
like, oh my God, I haven't heard of Facebook in 50 years.
Like
It's going to be
MySpace.
like that Jolly Green
Yeah.
They
Giant
were on
commercial.
MySpace.
I got
MySpace.
a web archive to find it.
Yep. Yahoo Groups, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody is got covered what we needed to cover for this. Just want to make sure.
I
Oh,
think so.
this
Oh,
section.
for this one.
Yeah. But wait, there's more coming soon to the West Kingdom YouTube. Well, thank you guys. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day before you scurry off to your actual meeting. They have a scheduled meeting later. And we really, really appreciate all of you and Katrina for coming. I appreciate it. And I'm sure everyone else will too. Have a good night.
Thank you.